give your child educational apps instead of just leaving them to use the social media. We understand it's very difficult because the juicy stuff is on social media. But it's always a good. It's always good to try because they are more beneficial as compared to just leaving them online all through. There are a lot of good things that they can learn in those particular channels, but it's also good just to give them the ones that are very relevant to them.
Children love and deserve also entertainment.
Yeah, exactly.
As well. But it's very important for you as a parent, as a guardian, to also be able to monitor, first of all, whatever they're watching, is it true? Does it have the power to kind of like influence how they think?
These days we have we call them influencers with their children on the online platform, whatever they're doing, and they are recording the children and all. Is that one way that probably we are putting them at risk?
Children have even, I think, sued their parents. Yeah, because I'm not happy with the image that you posted when I was 11. Yeah?
Wow.
Because now we are seeing that phase of children of parents who are online.
Yes.
The
content creators.
Exactly.
And using their children there.
Exactly. So some countries have some legislation about maybe having a certain amount of that money being set aside for the child. I won't go into much detail about that.
Okay.
They're just trying to build towards ensuring that there is fairness. Yeah? But if I was asked, and this is totally on a very personal level,
yes,
don't post about anything about your child.
Pearl Radio, the home of fresh and classic hits.
We have this discussion about our children on the online platform, and then again we have a discussion about our children, the dangers that are there. But now we want to look at the parents. How best can we, discover the simple ways to be able to, help their children or guide their children while they are using the internet? Because we know that the internet is good. That we agree that the internet is good and it's great for them, but there are dangers to it. So how can parents maneuver on that?
Again, thank you so much, Auntie J. I will start with the bottom line, and I hope to remember to finish with the bottom line.
Okay.
So the most important aspect of parents when it comes to child online safety is being present and involved. We talk about this in parenting so many times, but we can't stress it enough. Okay. As a parent, you need to be present and you need to be involved. When you talk about the safeguards, of course there are safeguards. I think all platforms they have parental controls, and they have safeguards that help us to know whether it's a child logging in or whether it's an adult. Some of them have provisions for having children accounts. For example, you have YouTube. You can have YouTube Kids, which is very much different from the YouTube that we are used to, and the content there is much more child friendly. Okay. I've used the word much more child friendly compared to YouTube, and the same case applies for many other platforms. One of the other best practices that we often give is if that particular platform does not have the provision for having an account for your child, you can open an account for your child, but you need to mention that explicitly, that this account is for your child. Okay. For obvious reasons. As much as this might not influence so much the content that is going to be available for the child, when it comes to the legal implementation, it becomes very important for that to be there, because it shows that you are the parent, as the one who is in charge of that account for the child, the one who is responsible for it, and not necessarily the child. We might not go so much into detail about how the content that someone views in their feed, for example, is generated in terms of the algorithms, but you find that it's very important for there to be that distinction between a child's account and an adult's account. Yeah, because this is very crucial. We've talked about those are some of the features that are there, and also we have alternatives. You can give your child educational apps instead of just leaving them to use the social media. We understand it's very difficult because the juicy stuff is on
Yes,
social
it's
media.
on social media,
Yeah,
yes.
but it's always a good. It's always good to try because they are more beneficial as compared to just leaving them online all through. There are a lot of good things that they can learn in those particular channels, but it's also good just to give them the ones that are very relevant to them. Sometimes we also need to sacrifice as parents.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, then the other thing is talking openly, and this comes back to the parental presence and involvement. So 60% of parents say that they feel that their child is safer online because they are involved. And this is true even offline. Yeah. So you find that whenever you are involved, you actually have more peace knowing that you're there to support your child. So parental involvement is very important, and we talked about the children understanding their safety online. So how do the children do this? So parents, teachers, caregivers are supposed to be there to talk openly about this, like whatever we are doing here right now. Can you sit down with the child and tell them these are the risks, these are the benefits, this is what you need to do in the event maybe you encounter these risks when someone reaches out to you. So you need to talk to them openly, and as much as you can. We understand our schedules are busy.
Yes.
Just be there. It's very important. Yes.
Probably themselves, they are users of the internet. They
Yes.
could use their experiences that they have had on the internet to do that.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
Okay. So, Charlene, you have something to add in terms of that, or we look at the law? What does the law say about
Yeah, I think I can look at just to add to something that he said before we look at the law is essentially for parents, especially. You're not there as like a watchman. It's not necessarily just they're monitoring everything, every single thing, but just it's very good to interact with what your children watch. It could necessarily be for entertainment or for education, because even children love and deserve also entertainment.
Yes, exactly.
As well. But it's very important for you as a parent, as a guardian, to also be able to monitor, first of all, whatever they're watching, is it true? Does it have the power to kind of like influence how they think? Because as children develop, it's very important to also be aware of the issues that could and the factors, contributing factors to how they think and what could also shape their opinion. So even on the internet, it's very important to also be able to sort of monitor their sources of information as well. I think looking at the laws, so we'll start with the Convention on the Rights of the Child. This was done by the UN globally, and the committee consulted, I think, over 700 children in 27 countries.
Okay.
And so they came up with different children's rights, especially on the internet. And the gist of the convention was the fact that states need to take stronger measures, including legislation, law, to protect children from harmful and misleading content, and also the fact that children should be protected from all forms of violence that happens in the digital environment, including child trafficking, as Lazo has mentioned, gender-based violence, cyber aggression, cyberbullying, and information warfare. Because another thing that I think we haven't really touched on is the fact that there's a lot of disinformation online. And essentially for children who are listening, disinformation is like, when someone is deliberately lying to you. There's that one for, they didn't know information, so maybe whatever they said is not true. No, disinformation is now when they are deliberately
lying,
intentionally coming to lie to you. So there's a lot of that online, and it's very important to also shield children. We cannot shield them forever, but it's important for them to know what is true and also what sources of information they can rely on. Coming back to the country, we have the Constitution of Kenya that also protects the digital rights of children, but with Article 31, what that is the right, gives life to the right of privacy, and it says that every person, including children, have the right to not have their information unnecessarily revealed. And also we've got the Children's Act of 2022 that aligns with the international convention that I've mentioned, and also aligns with the African Charter on the Rights of the Child. So it provides a legal framework on the protection of children from abuse and exploitation, which also extends to the internet platforms. Thirdly, we also do have the Data Protection Act of 2019 in Kenya, which established the Office of the Data Protection Commissioner. So this is the office that mainly deals with, any complaints regarding, the breach of information that has been revealed that was private. So you can go and make a complaint there if your information has not been handled correctly. And also so those are the three that I'd like to mention that
okay. You talked about the children's rights or protection in terms of revealing their information, but these days we have we call them influencers with their children on the online platform, whatever they're doing, and they are recording the children and all. Is that one way that probably we are putting them at risk?
Oh yes, absolutely. But I have thoughts about that, but the risk of getting cancelled. Unless Lazo go first.
Okay.
You're talking about thoughts, and talking about some of them are very personal to me. We had this debate, I think it was last year, like how much is too much content that you can give about your child online. So we know of these channels that are there, YouTube, TikTok, you name it, they're there. But it's not wrong. Like I know you've maybe one time taken a picture with a child, your child, a nephew, a niece, maybe it was on their birthday, and you went to WhatsApp, you put it there. There's no real harm. But now, where do we draw the line between what is okay and what is not okay? And I think it comes back to all these safeguards that are there. Like you're giving too much information. They know the child's program. They know what you people do. So you become, let me just use the word target. And it's not really appropriate. And even we have instances where children are not happy when they are older. When they turn 18, they are not happy with the information that you're sharing about them. We've had instances where children have even, I think, sued their parents. Because I'm not happy with the image that you posted when I was 11.
Wow.
Because now we are seeing that phase of children of parents who are online.
The content creators.
Exactly.
And using their children there.
Exactly. So some countries have some legislation about maybe having a certain amount of that money being set aside for the child. I won't go into much detail about that. They're just trying to build towards ensuring that there is fairness. But if I was asked, and this is totally on a very personal level, don't post about anything about your child. In the end, you won't say that it was only 2 pictures per week or a video. There is no minimum or maximum threshold when it comes to keeping your child safe online and disseminating their information. Thank you.
I think for me, just to add on that, so as Amnesty International, we run an essay competition every year. It's called Digital Rights Essay Competition, but last year it was on Safer Internet. And so we were asking, we do have a network of human rights friendly schools across Kenya that we work with. And so the winning essay was actually about what Lazo just mentioned. The child was just asking the parents, what was my photo when I was a month old doing on the internet?
Wow.
And constantly just being on the internet, and then the result was, her getting people knowing her even in the streets that she doesn't know. And to them, they know her, but to her she doesn't know them. She doesn't know all these people. So she was just like, my privacy at that time was infringed upon. And that is I think it's a constant problem that we keep seeing when these kids grow up, because they're just like, I did not want my information online like that. And there's even a whole report about child influencers that have grown up in the internet era and being constantly exposed to the internet. And now you find that a lot of them, if not all of them, just want to, even disappear from the internet. So it's not, so for child influencers, there's a line that needs to be drawn for sure to let children grow and to let them be, kids. They don't, and there's also actually another story I just remembered that you were mentioning were on labor rights. That's another thing I think we will see in Kenya cropping up very soon, because you find that in the US there's a case of parents who had their children become influencers, and they could be shooting content for even 12 hours a day.
Wow.
When they're on holiday, and that's not right. And they were sued for that. By the way.
So like child labor.
Yeah, that's child labor.
Okay.
And so we need to be very cognizant of, some of these risks that are coming up as a result of, exposing our children on the internet. What is this? There's definitely a line that we need to draw.
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay. Quite good insights. My first username was Cafe J. Somebody has texted in terms of the user. So I have another text here. Hi, Pal Radio, Magdalene, tuning in from Kitale, loving the conversation on child online safety with kids spending more time online for learning and fun. How can schools and parents set up child-friendly tech policies that protect them without limiting their opportunities to explore and grow?
The thing is, whenever it comes to what the schools are doing, I won't say that there's a one-size-fits-all solution to all this. But there is so much thought that has gone into the various policies and laws that we have. Charlene mentioned about the Data Protection Act of 2019 and Children Act of 2022, which have so many safeguards and guidelines on how best to ensure that there is safety when it comes to children's data, and just to ensure that the best interests of the children are kept. I'd also like to mention about the Computer Misuse and Cybercrimes Act of 2018, which basically is for safeguarding the safety of has clauses that ensure this safety of children online. So whenever a school or an institution would like to come up with their own policies around, let's say, children being online or their safety, or even the children data and all that, they need to consider what this law says, because so much consideration was put into this, owing to the fact that they are the ones that are guiding. They are the guiding principles on all these matters, safety, especially when it comes to our children. So there are no, I won't say that we can give a policy that will be uniform in all schools, because the environments might be different. But the point where they need to start from is understanding what the law says about this, and that's for everyone: the parents, the teachers, the institutions, even the organizations that are working with children. And when we come back to parents, we've talked about engaging with children. So we talk about instances where maybe you've put all these measures into place, but the children are still able to navigate them. Our children are smart. We know that they'll come up with a solution to this problem. So the best thing is just to ensure that you continue to engage them and be involved in their lives when it comes to that. And
I think the only thing I can add is, as a school, as a parent, just look at the end goal from the beginning. What do you want? At the end of the day, what is it that you want your child to be able to access, to enjoy on the internet? And that kind of guides whatever policy that you come up with that is not too stringent. Just blocking everything is on the internet so that your child can access is essentially like trying to kill a mosquito with a hammer. You know what I mean? Just essentially look at how there needs to be a balance between what they can enjoy and the safeguards that you need to add. There's browsers and there's apps that you can also incorporate in your policy that will help you, kind of sieve whatever is safe and whatever is not for your kids.
Probably I'll also use the parents themselves. They should be an example to their children, right?
Yes, absolutely.
And, because some of them, or some of us, include myself, that you're on that platform, your child sees you always on that platform.
Yeah.
So what would that mean for the child?
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, we've talked about setting the example. So I'm happy that you brought that one up. So we, especially the organization that are in this, and we were talking about the work that has been done by Watoto Watch Network, for example, in ensuring that our kids are safe, matters policy and engagement with the stakeholders and all that. And they are doing quite a lot of work in ensuring that big tech companies are held accountable. And I'm happy I'm here with Charlene from Amnesty International, who are also at the forefront in ensuring that.
Okay.
That said, no matter how much accountability that these big tech companies have, it starts with us.
Yes.
One of the other things that we were mentioning when we were celebrating the Safer Internet Day 2015 is that a safe internet starts with me. Yeah. So we cannot always just blame these people. They are not considering our nation. They're not considering our culture, our traditions. They are just here for business. Yes, they need to be accountable. But what are we doing? What am I doing as a parent? What am I doing as a teacher, a member of the community? So each and every one of us has a very important role to play. And in this case, for the parents, when we talk about involvement, this is what we mean. You need to understand what you need to do to ensure that your child is safe.
Okay. Yeah. So probably come to a wrap of this conversation today. Amnesty International, you can tell us a bit what you do, and then if somebody has any other question in terms of matters online safety, because you're engaged with that, or how can they reach out?
So as Amnesty International, we do a lot of things. Amnesty International is a human rights organization. It's a global movement of about 10 million people worldwide. That exists to support, to advocate for, and to protect human rights. And so in Kenya, we do within the sphere of human rights, of digital rights, the online space, we work within the technology and human rights program, and within this program we have another sub-program called Children and Young People's Digital Rights and Health and Well-being. It's short for Rights Click. We call it Rights Click. And within Rights Click is where we exist to advocate for a safe, supportive space, online space for children and for young people. So we do work with organizations like EduTab Africa, like Watoto Watch Network, to be able to do that, or to lobby for policies, to lobby for policy changes that can advocate best for a safe space for children in the digital environment. We also do have other activities that we do within Rights Click, like now the one that I just mentioned, the digital rights essay competition, for example, that helps children. We just be imaginative and just let us know, like, how best can we protect you within the what would a safe internet look like for you.
So when is the next one coming up?
It's already up, but
okay.
The only limiting thing is only open to human rights friendly schools. Maybe next year we'll open this up to more schools. And also another thing I think I forgot to mention is the fact that there's also places for reporting as well. If in case you face any abuse or suspicious activity on the digital space as a child. So the first one is the National Child Helpline, which is #116.
Okay.
Yeah. And then there's also the DCI Child Protection Unit, the toll-free number 0800-723-203, and also the KSAT, the Kenya National Computer Incident Response Team. And maybe these are things that you can put up maybe in your platform so that children can be able to kind of access better, because if I mention them right now, people will just forget. But those are the spaces within which we work. And also another thing I forgot to plug, since we're talking about advocacy, we did release an advocacy magazine for children, which can be found found on our website. It's called Control Speak. So essentially, you speak out for your rights and also control what you see, what you watch, and everything. So it's called Control Speak.
Speak.
Yes, you can find it on www.amnestykenya.org. Yeah.
A lot of things going on there for children.
Yes.
We are here, so we need that. We need that. Thank you so much, Charlene. Maybe your final words in terms of this conversation today.
Own your data and know your digital rights. Your data is your responsibility. It starts with you, and also you need to know the rights that exist for you within the digital space.
Okay, thank you so much, Lazo.
Yeah.
EduTab Africa.
Yes. Maybe I'll mention something quickly before I talk about EduTab Africa.
Yes.
So the numbers are toll free, which can be you can call anytime.
Okay.
And it's they are open all the time. So just a bit about the DCI. The DCI have they played a very crucial role, and they've done so much in ensuring safety, and they're doing a lot till today in just trying to combat all these harms that are there online.
Yes.
Okay, so EduTab Africa. EduTab Africa, we are an edtech company based here in Kenya, Kitale, Trans Nzoia County. Edtech company, what do I mean? Education technology. So we don't work with assumptions. Yes, our main focus areas are digital learning solutions. Digital learning solutions, they range from e-learning courses to learning management systems. And then we also have teacher professional development, which is at the heart of the work that we do. And we have STEAM education. Again, no assumption. Science, technology, engineering, arts, and mathematics.
Wow.
Yeah, so you would understand that the fact that we are working so much in education, we interact a lot with children and teachers. So hence the need for us to be very to understand how to keep our children safe, and also to champion for their rights as well. So what we do when it comes to online safety, we have a cyber security course which you can find on our EduTab Golan platform, and it's for organizations that mainly work with kids. So they also need to understand how, as much as they learn how to stay safe online and ensure that their digital devices are all secure, they also need to learn how this extends to children as well.
Okay.
We also have a child safeguarding course, which again is for institutions that work with children, but you can also help institutions develop their own child safeguarding policies.
Okay.
We also do digital literacy training for teachers and parents, so that they can also be digital literate. And that's the literacy these days. They are not reading or writing. So, and as much as they learn to be digitally literate, they can also learn how to stay safe and also impart that particular knowledge to their children and the students that they work with.
Okay.
Then we also partner and collaborate with amazing organizations like Amnesty International and our Watoto Watch Network in ensuring that our kids stay safe online.
Yeah. Awesome, amazing things. Probably your last words in terms of this conversation for today.
I'm happy you said my last words today. Thank you. So I'd like to borrow from a conversation that I had with a member of the anti-human rights anti-human trafficking and child protection unit. He was talking about this work sometimes seems like a hummingbird trying to put out a forest fire. Imagine. But we can't relent. And whenever we come together, we can win this fight in ensuring that our children are safe online. And as a parting shot is we all have a role to play when it comes to child online safety. Are you playing yours?
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, I'm almost saying amen.
96.9 FM, Pearl Radio.